This is the chapter 33 of level 2. In this chapter, we will discuss about floriculture, mushroom culture, hydroponics and aeroponics. So advances in agriculture practices have led to the introduction of many new methods in raising different kinds of plants. Floriculture, mushroom culture and hydroponics are few of these techniques which increase the commercial value of flowers, mushroom and other plant products. In this lesson, you will learn about these three methods, but after completing this lesson, you will be able to identify different types of ornamental plants, classify ornamental plants into different categories, explain the difference between flowering and foliage shrubs and the methods of raising them, classify different types of trees, climbers and bulbous plants with few examples of each, mention the ways by which indoor plants can help to decorate our homes and the techniques of growing them, explain the importance of indoor decorative plants with examples, list some facts about designing a home garden, list the steps of mushroom culture, define hydroponics, explain its methods and its limitations. Floriculture is the study of different types of ornamental plants, their cultivation. It also includes propagating, growing and marketing of all kinds of flowers and flower seeds, seedlings, growing bulbs, nursery operations, chemical protection of plants, post-harvest storage and handling and use of preservatives. So what are ornamental plants? These are the cultivated plants. Ornamental plants, both flowering and non-flowering, may be classified as below. Most seeds are sown in suitably prepared seed pans or seed beds and the seedlings transplanted to them in the main beds at the proper stage. However, the seeds of some plants like larkspur, lupins and Californian poppy have delicate roots and are sown directly into small pots. Some flowering plants are given below in table, the time and type of soil for growing certain flowers. So this is the table. You can compare them by yourself: soil, climate and season, and name of the plant. Uses of flowers: they impart color and beauty to the garden within a short time. They are grown in pots and soil beds to decorate our homes. Flowers are used for making bouquets, flower arrangements on festive occasions and for interior decoration. Flowers are also used for personal adornment by ladies and for religious and ceremonial offerings. Ornamental shrubs may bear either flowers or beautiful foliage. They are perennial and they live for many years. Foliage shrubs have colored or attractive leaves and may be evergreen or deciduous. Flowering shrubs are grown for their beautiful flowers. Some examples of foliage shrubs are mehndi, croton, acalypha and jasmine. Soil and climate requirement for cultivated shrubs: the soil should be rich, well drained and fairly deep. The subsoil should be free from hard substratum and be able to retain moisture. Shrubs are tropical, subtropical and temperate plants. Uses: shrubs are mainly used for garden decoration and various types of landscape work. They can be used for developing hedges around the garden. They are sometimes used for covering ugly sites like manure pits, etc. Ornamental climbers. Climbers are plants which have special structures, tendrils, thorns, etc. to climb on a support. These add beauty to the garden due to attractive flowers or foliage. Ornamental bulbous plants. The work bulb includes underground modified stems. Example: corms, tubers on growing. They give attractive colored flowers. Lilies, Dahlia, canna, gladiolus. Some examples of bulbous ornamental grown for their attractive leaves are money plant, colocasia, monstera, and ferns. Ornamental trees, these are the most important perennial hardy plants with a single straight stem. They are growing in garden, parks, and on the roadside to provide shade and beauty and to create a good landscape. Trees are classified as flowering trees, foliage trees, shady trees with a dense foliage, and medicinal trees which are used to provide medicines from their various parts. Some examples of ornamental flowering trees are gulmohar, amalthas, silk cotton tree, etc. Indoor plants are those plants which thrive in the living room of a house under normal conditions of light and humidity. Plants are grown indoor because indoor plants are never out of season. They are especially useful in places where people live, such as in condominiums or flats that may not have space for garden. They provide charm and beauty to the house and add to the interior setting. Different types of indoor plants are foliage plants with green or variegated leaves in different shapes. Example asparagus, tradescantia, fern, which are attractive, non-flowering and shade-loving. Example maidenhair fern, silver fern, etc. Palm, this with a single stem and large leaves, suitable for growing in large rooms or hall. Example dwarf palm, pygmy date palm, cacti and succulents. These are plants with thick fleshy leaves or stem which store water. They are of various forms, shapes and sizes and bear attractive flowers. Example cacti like Opuntia, epiphyllum and succulent like Bryophyllum and Euphorbia. Bonsai, these are dwarf adult plants growing in shallow pans which add to the decor of drawing room and are grown by a special technique. Terrariums are set up in glass cases like that of an aquarium and using different types of plants. They add beauty and variety to the interior decor. Common techniques for propagating indoor plants are cuttings, layerage and budding. When there is no space for growing plants in the ground, plants are grown in pots. These are also ornamental foliage plants and some other indoor plants. They are normally grown in pots of different types: earthen, metallic, plastic, wooden, or cement. A garden in a home not only adds to its beauty but also increases its real estate value. The following points may help in designing a home garden. It can be changed according to the plant and size available. It is essential to have variety in color, size and types of plants. It should be properly maintained with the hedges trimmed, lawn properly mowed and the flower beds regularly weeded. In the small home garden, seasonal vegetables can be grown to raise a kitchen garden which can provide vegetables for mushroom. Mushroom and its cultivation. Mushroom is fleshy fungus belonging to the kingdom fungi. They first appear as white tiny balls consisting of a short stem and a cap which opens like an umbrella. Later they cannot prepare their own food themselves due to lack of chlorophyll. There is a large number of mushroom species, some growing wild and some are edible species. The five most common and most important cultivated mushrooms are shiitake mushroom, winter mushroom, white button mushroom, paddy straw mushroom, oyster mushroom. You can see original figure of mushroom in this slide. You can see in this animation mushroom are growing on growing bins. So here cover soil can absorb and retain a lot of water. The temperature inside the cell is around 22 to 25 degrees Celsius. In 6 days time, around 20 to 25 liters of water are sprayed per meter square. Fungi are already growing in the cover soil during this period. The fungus is now allowed 2 days to recover and grow. 22 to 25, right now 19 degrees Celsius. The climate inside the cell resembles autumn weather. So like this. Now in the week 2, you can see growing mushrooms, harvesting the first flight. The base is cut off and after cutting, transport any method and sale in the supermarket. So in India, 3 types of mushrooms are found. They are white button mushroom, paddy straw mushroom and oyster mushroom. You can see in the next figure. In North India, the climate conditions prevailing, different seasons can be exploited for growing mushrooms throughout the year as follows. Importance: they are good source of high quality proteins and are rich in vitamins and minerals. Mushrooms contain 20 to 33% proteins. They contain good amount of vitamin C and B complex, potassium, phosphorus and sodium. They have medicinal properties. For example, mushroom extracts have a high amount of retin that has an antagonistic effect on some forms of tumors. Mushrooms are capable of agro-waste degradation. Mushroom is grown on organic substances, either raw or composted. They are mostly waste materials from farms, plantations or factories. Useless byproducts can be recycled as a medium to grow mushroom for human consumption. This also helps to reduce environmental pollution. Mushrooms have a huge export potential. Mushroom grows independent of sunlight without land. There are more than 10,000 unknown types of mushrooms. They can broadly be classified into 4 categories. Saprophytic. These feed on decaying matter like wood, plants and even animals. This category includes many gourmet and medicinal varieties of mushrooms like the oyster, shiitake, semini, etc. Mycorrhizal. This category of mushroom enters a symbiotic relationship with the host plant, which gets phosphorus and other nutrients from the mushroom plant, while the fungus gets sugar from the host. Most of the fungi of this category occur naturally in nature, like chanterelles, truffles, etc. Parasitic. This category of mushrooms also need a host, but the relation is one-sided, with the fungus infecting the host and drawing all nutrient from it and eventually killing it. Example: caterpillar fungus, honey fungus, etc. Endophytic. This category of mushrooms invade the host tissues, but the most remains healthy and even benefits by increased nutrient absorption and resistance to disease. This category can be cultivated in the laboratory even without the host. Mushroom cultivation is a woman-friendly operation. Women in farming system contribute a high percentage of their labor in the field, especially in developed countries. It is one agriculture activity in which women can play an important role without sacrificing their household responsibilities. Steps to be followed in the cultivation of mushrooms. The use of mushroom as human food dates back to time immemorial. Today, with the development of better technologies, and greater realization of their nutritive value, mushrooms have come to occupy an important place in the diet of people in several parts of the world, including India. It is therefore necessary to have knowledge of growing mushrooms. Since the white button mushroom, Agaricus bisporus, is popular mushroom, its method of cultivation is discussed here. Requirement for its cultivation: the optimum temperature for vegetative growth, spread of the mycelium is 22° to 25° Celsius, and for the reproductive stage is 14° to 8° Celsius. The following steps are required. Composting. Compost is prepared by mixing wheat or paddy straw, chicken manure with a number of organic and inorganic fertilizers in fixed proportions. The compost is kept at a high temperature, approximately 50° Celsius, for 1 week, and then mushrooms are cultivated on it. Spawning. This is the process of introducing the spawn, which is the mushroom seed, into the compost. Spawn is merely the vegetative mycelium from a selected mushroom species growing in a convenient medium. The success of mushroom cultivation and its yield depends to a large extent on the purity and quality of the spawn used. The amount of spawn used should be sufficient to help rapid and vigorous coverage of the beds with the organisms. Casing. Casing means covering the compost with a thin layer of soil or soil-like material after the spawn has spread in the compost. It gives support to the mushroom, provides humidity, prevents quick drying of the spawned compost, and thus help in better growth of the spawn. Casing also help to regulate the temperature. Cropping and harvesting. The arrangement is made for maintaining circulation of fresh air around the beds. Temperatures have to be kept low to prevent growth of pests and diseases, and regular spraying of insecticides is also required to be done for the same purpose. It generally takes 7 to 8 days to come to the button stage from the first appearance of the formation of a pinhead. Preservation. Mushrooms, like fruits and vegetables, are perishable and require a great deal of attention during storage, marketing and processing at the post-harvest stage. Discoloration, weight and flavor loss are some of the problems. The following methods are used to increase their shelf life. Vacuum cooling, keeping in a controlled atmosphere consisting of 9% oxygen and 25% carbon dioxide, giving gamma radiation and storing at 15° Celsius, freeze drying in a solution of brine, citric acid and ascorbic acid, and dehydration. So, nutritional value of mushrooms. Mushrooms contain an extra amount of vitamin B2 and B3. These vitamins take care of the metabolism and the release of energy from carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Vitamin B2 is also necessary for healthy skin. Folic acid is necessary for growth and the production of blood. It is one of the few vitamins of which, on average, we take in too little from our food. Potassium is necessary for a healthy blood pressure and for muscle and nerve activity. Phosphorus takes care of healthy bones and teeth and of energy metabolism. Copper is necessary for our immune system, nervous system, and for the synthesis of body cells. All these nutritional values occur in high concentration in mushrooms. Generally, mushrooms are low in sodium, fat, and calories, just about 20 calories in a cup, high in fiber and protein, 20 to 30% protein by dry weight, rich in the minerals potassium, selenium, copper, zinc, and magnesium. The oyster mushroom is rich in iron too, rich in the B complex vitamin, riboflavin, niacin, and pantothenic acid. This is the only vegetable or fruit for that matter, that produces vitamin D when in sunlight, and it is a source of natural vitamin D. Rich in L-ergothioneine, this is a powerful antioxidant. Rich in cancer-fighting nutrient like polysaccharides and linolenic acid. Free of cholesterol, it contains triterpenes which inhibit histamine release and are anti-inflammatory. Here you can see Portabilia mushroom have over 30 times the required selenium per calorie. Morel mushrooms have over 40 times the required iron per calorie. Crimini mushrooms have over 50 times the required copper and 12 times the required zinc. So next topic is hydroponics. The development of hydroponics has not been rapid, although this technology is almost 1500 years old. Hydroponic is a technique for growing plants in nutrient solution, water with fertilizers, with or without the use of an artificial medium, sand, gravel, peat moss, coir or sawdust to provide Hydroponics involves growing plants in containers filled with water or with coarse sand, gravel or other materials to which nutrients have been added. The containers are made of glass, metal or plastics. They range in size from small pots for individual plants to huge tanks for large-scale growing. Plants growing without soil require the same amount of light and warmth that they would if they were growing in soil. Growers who use hydroponic indoor provide a source of light and heat. Methods of growing plants through hydroponics. There are two main methods of growing plants without soil. They are water culture and aggregate culture. So water culture, you can see this in the next figure. In water culture, plants are suspended with their roots submerged in water that contains plant nutrients. The roots absorb water and nutrients but do not perform the anchoring function. Therefore, the plants must be mechanically supported from above. Air must be regularly pumped or mixed into the nutrient solution, culture solution. There are different kinds of nutrient solution. A basic solution, once the solution is in the tank, 5 liters of water containing 37 grams of magnesium sulfate and 4 to 6 drops of concentrated sulfuric acid should be added to each 5000 liter of solution once in a month. In addition, 150 gram of ferrous sulfate in 5 liter of water should be added once in a week. Aggregate culture, although plants are grown without soil, the roots not only absorb water and nutrients but also anchor the plant. Instead of being placed directly in the water and nutrient solution, the roots are placed in a substrate material such as coarse sand, gravel, peat, etc. A nutrient solution is then repeatedly applied to the substrate material. The solution is either pumped up from below the roots or trickled down from. Importance of hydroponics. Growing plants without soil is an effective way to study the needs of plants. By varying the amount of nutrients, we can find the best ratio of nutrients for successful growth of the plant. It is suggested that hydroponics can be used for commercial crop production in places where soil is not available, such as in ships at sea, deserts, and in covered Arctic areas. Hydroponics is an effective alternative method. Hydroponics is used in large-scale cultivation of flowers and vegetables. The yield is the same as for soil-grown plants, and the technique saves time by automatically watering and fertilizing the crop. So what you have learned in this chapter? Floriculture is the study of different types of ornamental plants and their cultivation. There are different types of ornamental plants like seasonal annuals, flowering and foliage shrubs, ornamental trees, climbers, bulbous and indoor plants. Seasonal annuals are grouped according to the season of their growth and flowering into summer, winter and rainy season annuals. Ornamental shrubs are both of the flowering and foliage types. Indoor plants are used to decorate for our homes. A home garden, kitchen garden, adds beauty to the house. It has to be carefully designed. The 5 species of mushrooms cultivated in India are white button mushroom, paddy straw mushroom, oyster mushroom, shiitake mushroom and water mushroom. So correct the spelling of shiitake. The main steps in mushroom cultivation are composting, spawning, casing, cropping and harvesting. Hydroponic is the method of growing plants without soil. Two methods of growing plants without soil are water culture and aggregate culture. The nutrient solution contains nitrate, sulfate, phosphate, or potassium, magnesium, calcium, manganese, and iron dissolved in water. Air has to be constantly pumped into the solution. Hydroponic is used for commercial production of crops, vegetables, and flowers in places where soil is